At the start of this movie, we see two sisters working for a new church, Sister Beckstand and Sister Burleys. They were tasked with bringing new members to the church, people who had accepted their invitation. They were going to visit these people's homes to give them an invitation to join the church. On their way, they encounter some girls who harass Sister Beckstand, making her upset and start crying. This shows us that Sister Beckstand is very naive and soft-hearted. Seeing this, Sister Burleys advises her to be strong, explaining that crying won't help, and that in life, one has to stay positive. As they continue, it starts raining, and both of them get wet. They arrive at Mr. Reed's house, where they were supposed to answer some questions about religion. Mr. Reed invites them inside, but they refuse, saying that their church has a rule that they don't enter a house unless there's a lady present. Mr. Reed insists that his wife is inside, making blueberry pies, and the scent is reaching them from outside. So, they agree to enter, leaving their bikes outside. Once inside, they remove their wet coats, and Mr. Reed assures them that his wife will meet them shortly. While they wait, Mr. Reed begins asking them questions about their past lives. They reveal they both grew up in the same church. Mr. Reed then asks if they believe in God, to which they both reply yes. He shows them a book called the Book of Mormon, written by Joseph Smith. According to this book, Smith and his followers didn't initially believe in any religion, but when they were in trouble, an angel appeared to help them, leading them to believe in God. He then asks if they believe Joseph Smith's story, to which they both say they do. Sister Beckstand adds that when she dies, she will become a butterfly and sit on her loved one's fingers to let them know she is still with them. Mr. Reed then asks if they believe in life after death, and both sisters confirm they do. Mr. Reed then asks if it's acceptable for a man to have multiple wives. Sister Beckstand immediately responds that it's not right. Mr. Reed asks why, since their church follows this rule, and Sister Burleys explains that their church encourages having more members. As each family grows, so does the church. However, Sister Burleys also explains that Joseph Smith did not marry many women for religious reasons but for his own desires, and over time, others started following him, and this practice became linked to religion. Hearing this, the sisters are shocked, realizing that Mr. Reed has more knowledge than they expected. Mr. Reed tells them that he has read many religions, and the conclusion he has reached is that the more you study religion, the less you understand it. He then leaves, telling them that if they want to meet his wife, they can enter the next room. Once inside, the sisters notice something is off. The room is completely dark. Sister Beckstand lights a candle and realizes it smells like the blueberry pies Mr. Reed mentioned earlier. They start to suspect that Mr. Reed was lying about his wife being present. They decide to call the church but soon realize that the house has metal walls, preventing any signals from getting through. They are trapped. Sister Burley suggests they talk to Mr. Reed, hoping he might let them leave. Following him into another room, they find it resembles a church, and they again ask to leave. Mr. Reed tells them they can leave through the back doors if they want, but they notice a timer on the front door, indicating it won't open. As they continue trying to leave, they discover that all the doors seem to lead to a basement. They realize they are trapped in Mr. Reed's control. The movie then shifts to show the church elders, who are concerned that the sisters haven't returned and start searching for them. Meanwhile, Mr. Reed plays games with the sisters, trying to distract them. He compares religions to different games, saying they all have the same rules, just with different names. He then shows them 3 books on religion, claiming that they all say the same thing, meaning there is only one true religion, and others have copied it. He also tells them that their church is fake, and they are simply following the wrong beliefs. After hearing all this, Sister Burleys is confused, but Sister Beckstand remains firm in her belief in God and her religion. She tells Mr. Reed that despite his arguments, she still believes in God. Mr. Reed challenges them to choose a path, believe or disbelieve, and they choose the believe path. They continue through the dark room and eventually find a table with a chair and a small window sealed with wood. They try to break open the seal, but they can't. Sister Burleys then gives Sister Beckstand a letter opener that she had stolen from Mr. Reed's room. They plan to fight back and escape, but just as they discuss this, a woman wrapped in a sheet enters, holding a poisonous bite. She sits down and begins chanting, as Mr. Reed tells them that this woman is a prophet who will die and then tell them what she saw in the afterlife. This seems unbelievable, but they stay to watch. Sister Burleys then sees that Mr. Reed had been keeping girls like puppets in his house. He was using them to create a false narrative about death and the afterlife. As Mr. Reed continues to manipulate them, the sisters try to find a way out. They eventually realize they are stuck in a loop inside the house, with all doors leading to the same place. They deduce that Mr. Reed had planned everything from the start. As they search for a way to escape, Mr. Reed appears again and reveals his true intentions. He had been controlling them, using religion as a tool for manipulation. Sister Beckstand, now fully understanding what had been happening, takes the letter opener and kills Mr. Reed. She finally escapes from the house, only to see a butterfly land on her hand, a sign that Sister Burley's spirit was still with her, reassuring her that there is indeed an afterlife. The story ends with Sister Beckstand believing that death is not the end, and that there is something beyond this life.